Alrighty, guys. So tonight we have finished off the election here. There's about 30 minutes left here until the polls are closing. But during the course of the night, we're going to try to spend some time with you and with our readers and give you some updates. We will have election results as they are coming in. We will also have some watch party from a location coming in a little later here, and we'll see. So we will come in maybe every 5-10 minutes or so, and we're going to stay alive, and the results will be on the screen through the evening, and when we get a guest or whatever, we'll catch over to that and go from there. One of the things that we have seen today, or reports or rumors, is that the participation has been fairly low, at least in some polling areas, where I would call it extremely low, and I have actually a little bit of a hard time understanding why people actually in these special elections don't participate, because they're so important, and unfortunately it turns out to be like maybe a handful of people can decide who is going to be the next senator in District 8. So we have been trying to push here for everybody to come out and vote and get it done, and we'll see. We will follow up on that during the course of the evening and see how how many votes we're getting, and all that. I think for me that's one of the important things, that we actually get people to participate. It's your civil right, but it is also, I would say, most very likely, I would say it's your obligation to vote, and we'll see where we go from there. The first results from the Oklahoma State will probably not come in until probably 5, 10, 15 minutes after 7. So we're going to come back and hang on that, and we'll also hope that we get some guests coming in from the party, which is taking place up in Okima. So they're going to come in here on the screen and be with us tonight. So I'm going to take a little break again, and we start showing you the results around 7 o'clock. And have a nice evening, and keep on checking in with us during the course of the evening. So we this election has been, not so much between parties. It's the Republican election that is going on right now. Initially, I believe it was 6 candidates, and we're down to 4. And we will see tonight if we will avoid to have a runoff. If none of the candidates don't get 50% plus 1, we will have a runoff in April 1, and then the final election would be in May 13. So we'll see you again around 7 p.m. and we'll go from there.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
should be enough.
Good deal.
This will be the same thing here. So you can see that here. I apologize. That's the camera we need to look at.
Okay.
It's a little different style. Hey, why not?
Yeah.
We can always do that.
So the way you can know if something works out or not.
Yeah.
Fail.
Yeah. Well, anyway, for our audience, let's turn down the music. Turn that music down, and we'll get ourselves up here, and then we'll see. I'll see you. And I had a guest walk in here. What was a surprise guest? Josh, how you doing?
I am always doing good. How are you doing?
Did you do your duties today?
Oh yeah, I did. I made
Yeah.
sure I voted.
All right, that's good. That's good. So
Yeah. Well, in a county with as little voting that happens, a lot of people don't vote like they should. Each individual vote can actually matter.
yeah, in my introduction here today, I was talking about that, and I said, you know, we have. I don't know who is calling me, but hello. Yeah, I know, and we are live, so you're interrupting. Yeah, no, yeah, it was a sound check. Okay. Bye. Yeah, that's what happened when you're alive, right?
Yeah, gotta love live.
All right, so we're here in the studio, and now we got to get this off.
Glad I'm not as popular as
There you
you.
All right. We're a little short of personnel, so we have to be on front of the camera, in the back of the camera,
Yep.
out in the field, and everywhere. But that's what's fun with it. So where were we?
We're talking about voting. How many people need to vote?
Yeah. The polls are closing here in about, 3 minutes or so? And we are checking on the state website where we should start getting the vote counts, but they have still not put up any results. So I'm assuming that will take a little time.
Yeah, it shouldn't be weeks or months like some of the elections, but
Hope not.
It still's got to take a little bit.
Yeah, no, I hope not. I think we will. I think we will see some results tonight. We had 6 candidates in the beginning, right? And
Yeah.
It turned out to be 4 left to the end of the race.
Yeah.
There was Ed Jolly and somebody else. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but they pulled out. And tonight we will see. What do you think? Do you think anybody's going to get 50 plus 1?
I'm looking for a runoff. I want to keep my my thoughts close to the chest, but I think it's going to be a runoff. Usually it ends up playing that way.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with the Oklahoma voting system here, but when you have 6 candidates running for the same party, then you probably will have a runoff. So
Yeah, somebody have to be extremely popular, or the others be very unpopular for it not to be that
Yeah.
way.
Do you know how that works? Um, is it the two top, the two guys that gets the most votes that has to run off, or how does that work? You know?
To be honest, I'm just shooting off the cuff, but that's the way it has always appeared to me, because in runoffs I only see two people.
Right.
So I believe it's just the two that got the most.
The most vote?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's
Now, if somebody wants to correct me, definitely do it, because I don't mind being corrected. That's how I
yeah.
learn.
Go ahead, send some comments in on Facebook. We can get back to you on that, and we'll go from there.
Because I've been wrong twice, at least twice. My first and my second wife.
Twice in your life,
Yeah,
or just
2 times, 2 different times. My first and second wife. But other than that, it's just a myth about me being wrong.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Well, we're still waiting for the results. We're also trying to wait for our compadres out there in Okima. They're going to come in a little bit later in the evening, and we'll go from there. Let's check the website. Has not opened up yet, right?
Not yet.
So that is yep. Currently not available. Refresh this page. Result becomes available after 7 p.m. Central Time on election night. So it should be happening any moment right now. But we will come back here in a little bit once we start seeing the results coming in. We will come back and report, and once they call in from Okima, we will get you some information from there, and we'll see how the atmosphere is down in Okima today.
Yeah.
So I'm sure all of them are like on the nerves, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of nervous people out there this weekend.
Right.
Or this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back in a little bit. All right. So we got the first results coming in here. Obviously, this is a really, really early prognosis, but we have, what do we got? Go ahead and let me know. Josh.
Well, it looks like, of course, we've got like Ed Jolly and Ramsey and Baldridge. They're not really getting a lot of action at all. But it looks like, honestly, it's head to head with Brian Logan and Hoss Durrett. With Brian having, I think, 29 votes already, and Haas having 24 votes.
Right. And those votes are in what county? Let's take a look at that. County details. Let's look at the right. Muskogee. It's so early, but obviously Macintosh is where Brian Logan has most of the votes. And David Nelson actually got quite a few votes up there too. So then we'll see. So let's see here, Hosterat. It looks like they're updating here.
Yep.
So you can look at that, refresh this a little bit.
It changed quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, it's changing pretty quick. So,
David Nelson came out of left field and just they I don't know what precinct that is that came out of, but
yeah, he is. He's coming up, but you know, this is too early to even make a conclusion of it.
yeah, we couldn't even guess.
My, you know, if you're betting on this, my bet was Brian Logan and Oz.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see.
I think all of them, from what I gathered, everybody pretty much had the same belief system. You know, they were saying the same stuff.
Yeah, I think so. It comes down to how they are able to convince people to get their vote, you know.
Yeah.
So we're just going to hang here, guys, and we're going to see what goes on, and this is going to be updated every so often, and it's going to quickly change between certain areas here. But right now, we can probably expect a few dumps here between now and 8 o'clock. So let's see.
Yep. Yeah, I know this is early voting, but I mean, if you look at David Nelson, I mean, he's got a substantial lead, but even Brian Logan has twice as many votes as Haas. But we're still at the pretty early in the stage.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any precincts that has reported completely enclosed.
No.
Their vote count. So, and that probably won't happen for another hour and a half. You know, depending on the smaller precinct, maybe come in a little earlier than the others, but. We can refresh this and see where we are.
But the great thing is that we don't have to worry about midnight suddenly everything shutting down, and somebody getting 5,000 votes. That's not going to happen.
Do you think? Are you saying that happened before?
I'm saying it could have possibly happened in 2020. Very possibly, not here.
Yeah. I don't think it would happen here in Oklahoma.
No, we're there was some stuff that was going on here, but thankfully, so I tell people that say, "Oh, our vote doesn't count." Yeah, it does, because you can't say somebody is not doing things legally if you don't vote and prove that they're not doing things legally.
Right.
I mean, if you have enough people voting, it can overcome any kind of corruption.
Yeah, that's true. I was a little bit, and you can kind of see that here also. Now, granted, it's still early, so it's too early to say, right? But you can kind of see here that the participation in the voting hasn't been that great.
No, it's flat out embarrassing.
As far as I can tell, it's been an extremely low participation. And obviously, Jeff Ramsey and Ed Jolly both pulled out of the race.
Yep.
Ed Jolly pulled out, I think, 2 days after registration because he felt that he had so much similarity to Brian.
Yeah.
That they would just steal votes from each other, so they decided to do it this way.
Yeah. It makes sense. That's something a lot of people don't understand, is that it goes a lot more into politics than just the better candidate. Sometimes candidates are, pretty equal, except one will steal the votes from the other or vice versa, and then neither one of them win.
Right. Exactly. Let's see if we can see in the summary if there's anything happened. Nobody has dumped any more. Nope. 206 early votes, absentee mails. There's only 40 absentee votes. Is it 40 votes completely? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
According to this, there's 66 precincts, right?
Yes.
And according to this statistics, there is 0 out of 65. 65 precincts. 0 out of 65 has completed their vote count. So, still early in the evening, and we'll see.
Yeah, it can literally change within minutes from each other. It'll be completely flipped upside down.
You saw the second update
Yeah.
they did here. It was just like boom, boom, and it was unbelievable, really, how quick that happened. So let's have a look at the vote total summary and the map again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that the entire District 8?
I believe it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so if we look at that on the map, uh, there's 15 precincts in here. There's 13 here, 25, 9, and you have 3. Zero 25. That's Okmulgee. That's Okmulgee County. So there is 0 of 25 in Okmulgee County that has been counted also. So it's still early.
Yeah, Okmulgee County is a pretty big one.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones that more than likely.
I'm not sure. There is a. I think I looked at it today, and I think there's about 12,000 registered voters up there,
Yeah.
and about 6,000 of them are Republican, and 5,000 are Democrat, somewhere around
Yeah.
the neighborhood. It's not the exact number, but and today I'm assuming it's just mostly Republicans out voting, I guess.
Yeah.
Because in these elections, right? Fill me in here. In these elections, you have to be registered for a party to participate in the party election of a candidate, right? Or can I, as a Democrat, for instance, go and vote for a Republican?
No, not
in this election.
in this.
In general election, maybe in May, when it's down to 3 people, a Republican, Independent, and a Democrat. There, I can change my vote.
Well, I actually learned this a few years ago. I grew up as a registered Democrat. Then I became an independent.
Were you born as a registered?
I was born as a registered Democrat, and unfortunately, even when I die, I'll probably suddenly become a Democrat.
Yeah.
I was always taught, all Democrats are for the poor people and Republicans are for the rich people and stuff, and none of that makes sense. It goes a lot deeper than that. But I was a Democrat. Well, when after Obama came, I became an independent.
Right.
And when Trump was going through, I actually was going to vote in the election for, to get Trump, and I couldn't. But in the Democrat side, you don't have to be a registered Democrat.
Okay.
But Republicans, you have to be a registered Republican. It's I understand it, and it makes it where people like. I don't know if you've been reading some of the threads out there and think, but there's a lot of Democrats saying that they were going to register Republicans so that they can vote in our elections, and so they can basically make us lose. That's why Republicans don't do that.
Well, yeah, I've heard that. I heard that they can change party affiliation and vote for a candidate that are more liberal or whatever you want to call it.
Or somebody they want to win because they know they couldn't win the primaries.
Yeah.
And so they'll do that. In fact, when I was at a conference in Florida, sorry, it wasn't Florida, it's Myrtle Beach. I was in Myrtle Beach, and this couple, they had no idea what party I was or anything, but they started talking to me, and they said that they were going to change the registration to a Republican, because they wanted to make sure that whoever fought against their candidate could not win. And I think it's just shady stuff. I mean, on both sides. If you do it going to a Democrat side, I think you're just as shady.
Right.
I was like, it should be who we really want to win. I mean, I believe firmly in the election process.
Yeah. No, I do too, but where I was born, we have a different parliamentary system and a totally different election. Number one, we have, I think, 6 political parties.
Oh yeah.
Nobody ever gets their own. What do you call it?
Majority.
Majority. No.
Yeah, that's what I was talking.
Never happens.
I've talked to a lot of people that have actually said they were against the 2-party system, and what I explained to them was that the problem is like over in the UK and Sweden and a lot of countries like that you have so many different parties, is you could literally only have 3% of the population that voted for you and still win an election. That means 97% of the people not want you.
But in order to form a government, when that happens, you have to form coalitions with
Yeah.
other parties. So, you know, both systems are for the good and for the bad. I kind of tend to like it when you have to have 2 or 3 different political parties work together to get things done.
Yeah.
You know, but the polarization here has been too much. Anyway, let's get back to the local District 8 coverage here, and there appears to have not been any updates as far as I can see right now. Yeah, there's
A little bit.
few. It looks like David Nelson is running away.
Yeah, he's taking a drastic lead.
And let's look at the pie chart and bar chart and see where he stands. He right now is at 55%. If this would stand, there will be no runoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there'd be a runoff if that happens.
Unless I'm totally wrong about the way it is. I mean, I could completely be wrong, and it's like there's definitely a runoff no matter what. But I think it's if you get over a majority, that there's not.
From what I learned, I had an interview with Senator Jett.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know who he is, but
yeah.
Anyway, one of the senators in Oklahoma. And he kind of explained that to me. And I understand that 50% plus 1 vote.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. I wasn't for sure.
If you get 50% plus 1 vote, then so the other person can have almost 50%. It could be 2 votes or 1 vote difference. Yeah. But as long as you're 50% plus 1,
yeah.
Then you are. So it looks like he is running away there early in the evening at least, and it'd be very, 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 very interesting to see. You know, and it looks to me like Stephen Baldrige is, in my view, he has had a very silent campaign.
Yeah.
He kind of he's a really nice gentleman. I had him in the chair and we talked a little bit, and I interviewed him for a little bit. He's very interesting guy too. He's actually a councilman in Oklahoma, or in Okmulgee. So.
Okay.
So
that's where I've heard the name before.
Yeah.
But we are notorious in this area for voting based on signage. If your name's out there the most, you'll probably get more votes than others.
Why is that, do you think?
I think it's subliminal, to be honest. I think it's just we tend to look at things like we feel related to something if we see it all over the place.
Yeah, so now the interesting part is that the number of precincts, there's 65 total precincts, right?
Yep.
And I believe now it looks like 6 or 7 precincts has been counted and closed. Actually 10 at this point. And let's reload this because I think there is a change again here. Yep. So now 15% of all precincts has 10 precincts have now reported in. So things are. But what Um, what I heard, what people are expecting, also when it comes to the number of votes in one of these special elections, a lot of people said they'd be surprised if we get a total of 2,500 votes.
Yeah, that would actually.
But to me, it depends on the precincts that are counted, but to me, it looks like we might reach that and then some.
Yeah.
So,
I think we're starting to see a lot more people vote that used to not vote, and that's been thanks to a lot of the recent elections. Because I grew up hearing most of my life, and I'm only 45 years old, but still, most of my life I've heard, well, I don't really pay attention to politics. That was a normal thing,
yeah.
and now people do pay attention, and so I think we're going to start getting more and more people voting, and a lot of people are so interested in presidential elections and stuff that grandeur. But to be honest, our lives are more affected by these elections.
Right. So, now it looks like David Nelson has a total of 467 votes. Um, so that is 50% plus.
Yeah, right now it looks like he's carrying a mop and a bucket. He's just mopping it up.
Yeah. But we only 15% counted, so
Yeah,
it's too early.
it still can change.
Yeah, too early to call.
I mean, to explain the way it's looking right now, you could add up everybody, and they still would be just shy of how much he has.
Yeah.
But again, we're talking 15%.
Yeah.
I mean, just under 65% of the people haven't been collected yet.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so stay tuned for a little more. Right now we have approximately 20 of 65 precincts counted, so just hang in there and we will come back to you in a few minutes.
Man, I tell you what, this changed pretty quickly. So I mean, now I thought I knew at the beginning where it was going to end up being, but I mean, Nelson already went from he was carrying 55% of the load. Now he's only carrying 39%.
Right. But again, you know, we got to be aware that still, yeah, we're almost at 50% of the precincts that has been counted. 32 of 65 precincts has, from what I understand, closed and submitted their votes. Currently we have in the Republican race here, David Nelson, Brian Logan, leading the race, and it sure to me looks like there's going to be a runoff between these two gentlemen.
Wow.
I think that it sure looks like it, but I'm, again, you know, you don't know because one precinct can have 100, 200 votes for one person. I saw earlier in one of the precincts where one candidate does a lot better than everybody else.
Yeah.
I don't know. Didn't have a chance to knock the doors better than any other candidate. Maybe, you know. But it's really interesting. So, so it's.
I think it's like a very micro version of swing states with some of these precincts. Is that they carry so much weight to them that it may look like this, but if you win this one precinct, and if you don't know what precinct that is, you could end up losing the election because you didn't get enough people out there.
Absolutely.
And to be honest, even though I mean I agree, Logan and Nelson are right now are carrying it, and it looks like there's going to be a runoff, but you know Durrett might come out of it. I mean he may end up jumping up there, but it's still a little too early to tell. But there's always that chance.
Yeah.
That
he definitely came up a little bit right now. Yeah. We got 40 of 65 precincts has now been closed and counted. Let's see here how we can update that on the screen maybe. There you go. That's the current result.
Get my head out of the way. Let people see it a little better.
Yeah.
My big old head.
Yeah, we can take this down for now so people can see. They don't need to see us, they hear us. So that's the interesting part. 61% of the votes has been counted at this point. 61.5%. So it sure looks like we're heading that way for a runoff. And again, you know, I'm looking at the numbers. People were a little pessimistic. It looks to me like some of the people that said, they were happy, or they were thinking 2,500 votes, but we're still a little bit to go. It looks like we could head up towards 3,000.
I think you're right. I think we're going to get about 3,000 people out there voting.
3,000 votes today, and that should be very interesting. But it sure looks like David Nelson and Brian Logan are going to have the runoff. You know, I'm not going to bank on it yet, but with 62% of the votes counted, it is probably very, very, very close. Sitting there looking at the screens, it sure looks like it.
It does. I mean, granted, there's always a boxer's chance.
Do you know what do you know what I reflect over when I see the results here, though?
Mm.
And that is a surprisingly low number of voters actually did early voting or absentee voting. The absentee voting is basically none. I mean, nothing.
Yeah.
And you have the early voting, only 254 people in 61% of the precincts voted early.
Well, that's honestly, with conservatives are a lot more, they're less likely to take something on, just because somebody tells them, but they also
Right.
will stick with stuff, and they tend to vote in person.
Right.
And as we've seen, the DNC, that was their go-to was absentee ballots and early voting.
Right.
And that's, when you take that away, you're getting people that really care about the voting. Yeah, and I'm not saying that people that do absentee or early voting don't care, but typically, if you're willing to go drive to go vote, then you've researched who you're voting for.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I see we have some comments on Facebook. If you have any questions, feel free to just ask questions, and we'll try to give you answers live. So you're welcome in and ask some questions on Facebook if you want. He's tightening up.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
All right. Let's see here. All right, so looks like we have Larry on the line here. Can you hear me, Larry? Hello? We might have some technical issues here, but let me see. We're going to test this, okay? It might be here. There we go. Larry, we got you.
Yes, I'm here.
We got you.
You got me now.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian Logan's ready to say a few words.
All right. How you doing, Brian?
Said, how are you doing?
Go ahead.
How are you? We're
Go
here
ahead.
at
We're doing
Okima.
good.
Just wanted to thank everybody for their support today, the hard work, efforts that they put in over the last few months. I want to say I appreciate each and every one of you, no matter how the results come out. We've enjoyed it. We've made a lot of new friends, and appreciate each and every one of the candidates for working so hard and being such a good group of guys to work with. And so if we make it through this, go on to the runoff, I want to say I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. I believe there is going to be a runoff.
Yeah, it will be.
So I'm the only one that had to watch.
Right. You got a
There's
little
a-
crowd there.
Oh, excuse
Yes,
me,
we
sir.
do.
Excuse me. Get the door out.
Yes, we do. We had to change venue.
Yeah, I heard. But you're still in Okima,
So that's
right?
it. Yes, we're still in Okima.
And still Mexican.
And yeah, Taco del Paloma.
All right. So
Hi.
so far, 74% has been counted.
74% been counted.
Yes, and it sure looks like Brian has kind of picked up a little bit and narrowed down the lead. David has pretty much through the evening had the lead. And I'm pretty sure at this point, I'm not going to call it, but I'm pretty sure the runoff is going to be David Nelson and Brian Logan. So
Okay, well they're ready for it.
I'm sure they are.
Okay, we're signing off in Okima. You said 71% of the votes been counted.
Right?
Okay,
Right. Thank you for calling in.
thank you.
And right now we are getting up there. Where are we at now? 52 of 65 precincts. And there you go. Brian Logan took the lead.
Yep.
So I think that's where we are going to have. That's where we're going to have the runoff. More than likely, and with less than 20% of the votes left to count, it is very likely that this will stand. David Nelson has how many votes? 1,025. Logan?
Yep. 1,046.
All right.
It's not much of a difference.
Oh, Larry knows I'm home. All right, so let's see here. Any more votes being counted in? Where are we at? 53 of 65 precincts. That counts for 81.5% of all precincts has now been counted. Total of 2,937 people went out and voted. I believe that to be maybe less than 10% of the total voter base in the area. Don't hold me to that, but that's what I believe. And we got probably a few more minutes, and we should have this entire election finished off probably about 8:30. So, if you want to hang with us, if you're out there and want to hang out with us, we will keep the results coming for you. All right, so right now we are having 92.5% of all precincts are counted, and I would say that it's going to stand the runoff April 1. Is more than likely going to stand between David Nelson and Brian Logan. David Nelson is actually a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
Because his campaign has been a little more on the what do you call it? On the slow side. We haven't seen so much, but I know he has done a lot of walking and door knocking.
Yeah. And voters respond to that. They really do.
Yeah, they do. So that's coming in, and well, we're gonna hang here until this is all over, and then we go offline. But for now, we have the vote count almost completed. 60 of 65 precincts.
I'm not.
What do we got? 60 of 65. Yeah.
I'm not going to say this isn't just a coincidence, but from what I notice is the guys that are top on voting, they got a lot of eyeballs on them through the Henryettan.
Yeah, I would be glad to say that would be the.
I mean, this is just kind of an sort of outside looking in, but that's what I've noticed because I've seen their advertisements a lot through the Henryettan.
Right.
And a lot of people like a place to go to.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. But these guys have, all of them has done tough campaigns. They've been fighting hard for the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Can't remember what date the registration was. You and I were in Oklahoma
Yeah.
City when that took place, but
And I can't. I think it was the first week of February.
first week February or something like that. And now we have concluded the first third of the race, right?
Yeah.
And then the runoff, and May 13, we have the general election. So,
And every one of these candidates, though, they're pretty strong candidates. We don't have to. It's not like we're losing if we get any one of them, to be honest.
right. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen elections where that was it, where I got nervous if this person didn't win in the general, then or win this race, then we're pretty much screwed. But and this time I'm just not nervous,
Right. Yep.
which is a good feeling to have.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so just going to wait for a few more minutes here and see if we can close this out, and we'll be right back. Right. So one good thing there, close to 4,000 votes out there. So it's not what I hoped for, but we hope for 4,000. So you know, I have to say that
Yeah. No, I say that a lot. Like, oh, do you vote? Oh, I don't vote. But then you don't have an opinion. I don't care.
So we'll see. But I think we can almost wrap this up, guys, for today. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to wrap it up. And I think we have the result in our hands at this point with 98.5. So there's 1.5%. One more precinct to report in, and that ends this for this evening. So I don't think we're gonna get any closer than that, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to sign off here in a minute.
Yeah, with Logan having 300 votes ahead of Nelson, some of this last precinct they're going to have whoever wins, if Nelson is going to even surpass Logan, he has to have 300 more votes than Logan. So I would say we can pretty much call it. Logan and Nelson is going to be the runoff.
I believe so. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching us tonight, and we will come back again doing something similar on April 1 when we have the runoff. And meanwhile, come and visit us on thehenryettan.com, and in Okmulgee it is okmulgeelocalnews.com. So we'll see you there. Come and visit us. Thank you very much for today.